Hello, everybody. How are you guys tonight? Um, so everybody keeps emailing me, asking me if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. So just wanted to check in with everybody. I am actually working tonight, so I probably can't stay on long in case I get any runs. So just wanted to say hi. I do have something I want to read here in a minute. Um, but I'll read it here in just a minute. It's not no big rush or anything like that. Um, how you guys been? Abatillo, Cheryl, Gebel, Stephanie, Time for a Change, Secret Lady. Hello, it's me. I'm Indiana Girl. What now? Linda, hello. Eyes are blue, hello. Georgia Peach, hello. I guess. Hello, everyone. Hello, I am Coyote. Hello, Katia, Dodie. How are all you guys? Hang on one second. Can you turn on the closed captioning? I don't know if I can turn it on right now during the thing, but I'll turn it on as soon as I go off of here. Sorry about this. You did not get picked for jury duty? That's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, doing good, doing good. Like I always say, if they're picking on me, they're leaving somebody else alone. So, hello, sweet. How are you? I've been doing good, Fran. How about yourself? Hello, Ange. How are you? Hello, Brissy. Top Cop. Hello. Well, I missed you guys too. Yeah, they're getting better. It's not bad. I haven't heard any updates on Harley Dilly. Do have an update on Fotis Doulos, though. He was arrested today and charged with murder 8 months after his wife Jennifer was murdered. Hello, Sarah. Glad to have you here. Well, thank you, Carrie. Yeah, there's no need to be sad. I mean, it is what it is. I find out a lot of information though about myself online, stuff I never even knew. I found out my son's girlfriend is named Kayla. I didn't know that. I thought her name. I've been calling her Morgan all this time. So you learn stuff new every day if you check on yourself. It's me. Calm down before you get me in trouble. Eyes are blue. I like that name. It's like that song, Eyes Are Blue, Hair is Long, 64. And she was born in Baton Rouge or something like that. I like that song. That's what it makes me think of. Texas Equisearch was called to help locate Harley Dilly. I heard that. I haven't heard Harley Dilly's sister's name. Wasn't it? Is it Sarah? I think maybe. Isn't her name was Sarah, but I'm not sure of that. There's no need to get upset, Gabble. Just people are going to say what they want to say. Yeah, Kennedy's, he does. Well, that's what makes me realize when I see some of the stuff they say that they absolutely have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, sorry about that, Eyes. His mom is Heather. I don't know. Let me look and see if I can find out what it is then, because I. See if I can find his sister's name out really quickly. Looking it up here. Let's see here. It says something about his sister. Sorry for the dead air here. I'm trying to read and find out what Harley's sister's name is. No, it doesn't say her name. Ashlyn is his sister, somebody said. Hello, CG. Someone in chat said it's Ashlyn. And I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but Fotis Dulos was arrested today, charged with murder. I think somebody told me in an email just a few minutes ago they recovered a hatchet or an axe from the garage. Hello, Molly. How are you? Hello, Soul Eyes. How are you doing? Yeah, I like Soul Eyes videos too. She brings me back to reality sometimes. I subscribe to her channel. You guys should check it out too. Soul Eyes. I have a video about the arrest of Fotis Dulos if you guys want to watch it. I don't think the lawyer got arrested too. He said he was just ready. Said he'd been waiting a long time for this to happen, and now they're ready to take their day in court. Yes, hit that like button, please. Oh, I didn't see that the lawyer got arrested. I thought I seen he was having a press conference, but I didn't see that he had gotten arrested. What did they charge him with? His civil lawyer was arrested. Okay. Husband, girlfriend, and lawyer all arrested. Yeah, I knew the husband and the girlfriend was, but I didn't know that the lawyer was. And it's 20 below zero where you live. Where in the world do you live? Lawyer was arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. Jeez. That's crazy. It was his previous lawyer. Yeah, that's not any good. Thank you, Avatillo. Appreciate it. North Dakota. Damn, I'm glad I ain't in North Dakota. That's cold. I think 30 degrees is cold, though, so anything less than 30 degrees is too cold for me. Freezing in Pittsburgh, too. Yeah, Kayla, we've been talking about that case, the Chad Daybell case and Lori Daybell. We've been talking about that for a little bit, and then there's so many twists and turns to that case, it's you can't even hardly keep up with it. Sunday is going to be negative 26. No. 52 degrees here in Tennessee. Let me look and see what temperature it is outside. I know it's fairly warm, so it says it's 36 here. So that Mormon lady case is full on. Yeah, it really is. Sorry you had to do that, sweet. I really am. I apologize for that. I know it's my fault. And I mean that sincerely. But I did write down a few things though, guys, that I do want to say. Um, just to kind of be, so thank you, James. Appreciate that. Um, just to kind of go over, just to address a couple of things. Um, and I know you guys have said I don't have to address anything, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, there is people saying things. So I did just write down some things. I talked to a lawyer, and I've got some stuff wrote here that I'd like to read to you guys if you don't mind. Um, that's one thing about it, guys. If you all don't care, and I really do appreciate you guys having my back and defending me and that sort of thing. But if you guys don't mind, and I'm asking you nicely, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not your boss. I have no reason to tell anybody what to do. But just don't attack anybody or even say anything to them. Just let them say what they want to say. I encourage anyone that feels like I've done anything illegal to file a police report and let the proper authorities handle it. And that's how I feel, instead of putting it on YouTube for the YouTube jury to convict me. But anyway, it's the first thing I would like to address. I'm aware that I've had multiple things, accusations made against me, and it's been brought to my attention that some people are saying that I haven't addressed these accusations, while I have had others in the YouTube community state that I don't owe anyone an explanation. Regardless of which side of the fence you are on, please understand I would love to respond to all the questions. Because at this point, I would love to clear my name. I've attempted to show the proof the other day during a live video in regards to a couple things. Clearly, after that, I was still picked apart, even to the extent of claiming that money for an electric bill was sent to my son's girlfriend. And for the record, she does not have the same name, nor was that who the money was sent to. The other night, I had made the decision I was going to post every piece of evidence that I have, show and back up what I explained during my January 4th video. However, since then, I have sought legal advice regarding the illegally distributed email that contains pictures, text conversations, audio, emails, and other private and personal information. In the United States, we have services that will help with international revenge porn cases. And for those wondering, no, you don't have to be rich for these attorneys to help you. I am mentioning this because some parties involved do reside in another country. I have been advised not to discuss any allegations at this point. Therefore, I can't answer or respond to all the accusations that have been directed at me. That being said, as much as I want to answer all the questions to help solidify my supporters, but in reality, most would agree it would truly not resolve anything. Everyone has their own opinion, and regardless of proof, some feel they need or deserve. The conspiracy theories will continue, and since videos remain on other creators' public channels with content directed at me that is accusing, suggesting, and false, it is in my best interest not to respond. I would also like to thank the other creators that may have received the email that was illegally distributed. I appreciate their integrity for not participating in the drama, as well as not feeling a need to place judgment on me in the open public, regardless of their opinion of me. Thank you again to the viewers and subscribers that have not formed judgment and continue to show support for me. I hope you all understand, and those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. So thank you guys. I just wanted to say that. So now we can get back to true crime. Because people are saying, well, he's not addressing it, so that makes him guilty. No, it does not. It doesn't make you guilty of anything. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to. I know some of you guys have said, don't discuss it, don't do this. And that's the last thing I'm saying about it. So, and I will be back on tomorrow night. I probably will be giving up my Uber Eats job so I can have more time for my YouTube channel. I had that just around Christmas time, and I'm actually doing that tonight. So I'm only going to stay on for an hour. That way I can, make those runs because I like to give a 2-week notice, regardless of what people think I do. Lara, I changed it where it was no longer public. And I didn't really do it for any sort of reason or anything like that. Just sometimes I just go in and play with the settings on stuff, on everything. But do you all want to watch this video on the Dulos arrest? Hello, Marge. Hello, everyone I haven't said hello to. Well, Susan, if they'd let me bring it to Cincinnati, I'd do it, but I don't think they let me go that far. My camera for green screen camera. I have not put the green screen up yet. I do have a green screen, and just for the record, a green screen does not cost $500. I know that's being said, but it doesn't. Some people just hang up a green sheet. It's the software that does the video effects. And on top of that, I don't know why it's been made such an issue out of the green screen, because one night I was talking about what I wanted to do with my channel, like get a background and stuff. And I was actually talking about putting up a background like a bookshelf, exactly like AD had. We had all talked about that. And somebody did a super chat and said you should do a green screen. Then one other person, there's only been 2 people, one other person sent a PayPal donation and said, put this towards the green screen. But I did not take up money for a green screen. And I've left all of my videos up. You can go back and watch them. So you'll know I didn't say that. Yeah, and if anybody has a question on what a green screen is, go on YouTube and look at what a green screen is. Some people actually just hang a green sheet. I watched one on YouTube where they took green poster board and glued it all together, or not glued it, but taped it together and then stuck it on the wall. It is the software that runs a green screen. What it does, Paula, a green screen, like what you do, the reason it's green is that way you can eliminate one color. So for instance, if I was sitting here and there was a green screen behind me, with this software, you could eliminate all of the green, and then you could add in all these video effects. But people think that those video effects play on that green screen, and they don't. They actually play on the software that you use to do it. And just for the record, yeah, Angela says you can paint your wall green. You can paint your wall green. You can put up a piece of panel board painted green. But I never asked for anybody for a green screen. I never asked for a MacBook. I don't know where the hell that came from. Hang up a pissy sheet for the moaners. What I said about the MacBook was, because I just heard this one earlier. Someone called and told me that I had begged for a MacBook. But what happened is I had said one night on one of my lives that I would, one of these days with my Patreon money, like to buy a MacBook. That's what I said. Um, and the only reason I'd like to do that is because it would go with my iPhone. That's what I said. I never ask anybody to buy me a MacBook at all. Well, the thing about it is, I'm probably not going to do a green screen. I'm probably going to send it back and get a bookshelf background, or I like the brick wall too. And no, I cannot fetch the green screen. Why would I fetch the green screen for? And another reason is I'm set up here in my kitchen, and when you do a green screen, you have to have it lighted properly. So you have to have like a great big light over here and a great big light over here. It's just too much shit to put in my kitchen. So I'm going to hang just a backdrop behind me. Yeah, Laura, I didn't think I ever did either, but you know how people say shit. Okay. Don't do the bookcase. I'll do that for my buddy. All right, I'm going to show you guys this video on the Dulos case here. Let me get it pulled up here. Now, I can't, if you're commenting anything, I can't see it. Let me pull it up here on my phone. I'm going to play this video for you guys.
In Connecticut, we have been following it throughout the day. Fotis Dulos charged now with murdering his wife, Jennifer Dulos, nearly 8 months after she disappeared. Today, new clues being revealed by prosecutors, including blood-like stains that police say match Jennifer's DNA.
We do have live team coverage on all of this. We're going to begin with News 4's Mark Santia, who is covering the investigation angle of it for us. Mark.
And Stacey, police still have not found Jennifer Dulos' body, but based on the evidence and the amount of blood loss, the medical examiner has considered this a homicide.
Fotis, why'd you do it?
Fotis Dulos in handcuffs, hauled out of the Connecticut State Police Barracks in Bridgeport. Dulos arrested and charged today with murdering his wife, Jennifer, nearly 8 months after her disappearance.
Fotis Dulos, who is charged with murder, felony murder, and kidnapping.
Jennifer Dulos last seen alive on May 24th after dropping her children off at school. Police revealing in an arrest warrant today, they believe Fotis Dulos rode a vintage bicycle to Jennifer's home, killed her, covered up the crime, and disposed of her body. The warrant detailing 7 locations where blood-like stains matching Jennifer's DNA were found at her new Canaan home. Fotis' attorney, Norm Pattis, dismissing the new charges.
Now we get to address the proof, and we are confident about our case, and we are confident about our odds. We said long ago, bring it on. They did. We're here. We're ready.
Dulos arrested, along with his girlfriend, Michelle Troconis. She is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Police say they recovered Troconis' and Dulos' DNA from garbage bags dumped at multiple locations on Albany Street in Hartford.
She has always been extremely cooperative, and, we'll have to deal with these charges in court.
Dulos' one-time attorney, Kent Mahoney, was also arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Jennifer Dulos' family released a statement this afternoon saying, quote, "Although we are relieved that the wait for these charges is over, for us there is no sense of closure. Nothing can bring Jennifer back. We miss her every day and will forever mourn her loss." Fotis Dulos' attorney, Norm Pattis, is addressing the media right now. Let's take a listen.
Months of listening to innuendo, suggestion, and rumor, we now have something to shoot at, and we intend to begin firing those shots at Mr. Dulos' bond hearing tomorrow morning. Additionally, the thing we found most disturbing today was the treatment of Mr. Dulos by the Connecticut Ms. Traconis was given an opportunity through her counsel to arrive, to turn herself in at her leisure, or at least given notice that the police were en route. But for our having received a tip from someone in the state police, the police would have arrived at Mr. Doulos' home before we did. But we got there first. And then when we arrived, we were told he would be taken to the state police barracks in Bridgeport, and that we would be given a copy of his arrest warrant affidavit there. We waited in the lobby for more than 3 hours to see Mr. Doulos and to get a copy of his warrant. In the meantime, Mr. Traconis' lawyer waltzed in and was immediately shown and given access to his client. We were told that we weren't going to get a copy of the affidavit until the state police press officer finished writing a press release. We raised questions about that and ultimately received the affidavit. Then we were told we could talk to Mr. Doulos on the phone later. They had to get him out of the room. And when we went outside, we saw all of your cameras were pointed at their Sally ports, suggesting they were going to try to spirit him away without a meeting with us. We demanded treatment similar to that Mr. Traconis received, and we ultimately got it. So
That is the attorney for Fotis Doulos there speaking today outside of the offices there. Now we're going to continue our team coverage with Ida Siegel. She is live in New Canaan. Ida, this community was so affected by this, and we're hearing a lot of reaction from them today.
Yeah, that's right, Stacey. In fact, their reaction can probably be summed up in one word, which is finally. Lots of people here want to know why it took so long to get to this murder charge, but no doubt they say today's development was good news. When word first spread early this afternoon, folks in town say people were honking their horns, making sure everyone had heard. Art Keene owns this mobile station. He says it was like a party.
I got a kick out of them hitting the horns. I thought there was a party going. I didn't know anything about it until my son told me about it.
Turns out the party was actually news of the arrest.
Yes, yes.
This is a community that jumped into action when Jennifer Doulos went missing, passing out flyers, assisting police with the search. Folks here say they're not surprised to hear her estranged husband has been charged with murder.
Not a surprise. I mean, it was a matter of how they were going to get the evidence to be able to charge him.
No comment today from Jennifer's former neighbors, but folks in town say they used to see Fotis Doulos visit the local shops all these months he was suspected of her murder. They are hoping this development means closure. Is there any doubt in your mind what happened here?
No, I've been following the case pretty closely, and if you read, all of the read about all the evidence and the background and so forth. I mean, it almost seems like an ironclad case.
I always believe an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. That's it. But he's guilty. It's got to go to court, and they're going to, see what's going to happen.
And lots of people tell me that they will be watching that trial very closely, hoping to learn new information about what happened to Jennifer Doulos. Reporting live from New Canaan, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
Okay, Ida, thank you. Fotis Doulos due in court tomorrow, being held on $6 million bond. Michelle Traconis and the attorney Mawhinney each being held on $2 million bond. So we'll have latest developments on the Doulos arrest, both online and on air, and you can get any breaking news alerts sent right to your phone or tablet by downloading the free NBC4 New York app.
Thank you for watching this video from Ed.
All right. So, do you guys think that the girlfriend will spill the beans on Fotis, on Doulos? Because I think if she knows what he done with the body, I think she'll out him. I really do. And I hope for many reasons she does. Number one, there's the rumor that, he's cut the body up. And I hope that hasn't been what's happened, but trying to imagine this as a parent, I believe I would want my child back, regardless. So I don't know. But then again, he might have her intimidated. So who knows? And also, guys, I was going to tell you about this. Did you guys see where the Heidi Broussard affidavit came out? I know I haven't been on in a couple of days, and that's kind of old news now, but we haven't talked about it much here. After you read that affidavit, there is no way you can say that she did not premeditate that at all. How many times did they say she Googled Heidi's name? It was 136, 76, something like that. Unbelievable. Yeah. I think, a mother of 5, a beautiful person. I don't understand what gives these guys the right to think that they can just kill these women and take these women from their family and from their children. What gives them the right to do that? I don't understand it. Yeah, and shoved her in a body bag or in a duffel bag. I don't know about you guys, but just thinking about my friends in life, it's online. There is no way in this world I could stuff a friend of mine in a duffel bag. I mean, I couldn't kill a friend though either. So, good night, Cheryl. So it's hard to say. Stuffing her in the duffel bag is what baffled me. Yeah, when I read that, I was just like, oh my God. Carolyn, I heard the reason she hasn't been charged with murder is because they just want to make sure where exactly the murder was committed so that they can file the charges in the correct jurisdiction. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's correct or not. That's what it sounds like, Susan. It sounds like there was a second person for sure. Yeah, it's online. Just type in Heidi Broussard affidavit. It'll come up. I think I can't remember how many pages it was. It's a few pages, several pages. Yeah, I believe, Antique, that she planned on dumping the whole duffel bag with the body and everything in it. She either just hadn't got a chance yet, or with all of the action going on in the area, she was afraid to. Hello, Debbie. That's just my personal opinion on it. Because it would look a lot less suspicious carrying a duffel bag up to a dumpster and throwing it in there than if you throw the body in there. Eyewitnesses said they both got in the passenger side, so who was driving? Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, hello, Rabbit. How are you tonight? Glad to see you, buddy. I wonder if it was a cousin. She told Chris she was going to the beach with her cousin. I'd say we've got a lot more coming out in the Heidi Broussard case. They were tight-lipped on that case from the very beginning. And, us as the public, we always want everything released, right away. We got to have it right now. And that's just the way we've been trained with having, Wikipedia and Google on our phones. Everything's at the tip of our fingers. And, they was tight-lipped about it from the very beginning, which ended up obviously being a good thing. And myself included, I thought with the way that the boyfriend Chris had acted, or not Chris, the boyfriend, Shane, the boyfriend, had acted, that, just his actions sent off red flags for me. And I think we've been groomed that way due to the Chris Watts case. We showed the Chris Watts front porch interview so many times, like, this is how you act when you're guilty. If you're guilty, this is what you do. And it just goes to show you that there's not really a certain protocol on how someone acts if they're guilty or if they're innocent. So, and like I said, I'm guilty of it too, because I had a live going one night where we watched the video and he just started laughing. And I thought to myself, this just doesn't act like a guy that, it just seemed to me that if that was my fiance or girlfriend missing, that anything at the moment would be funny to me. And that's just the way I felt. So even like I said, I made a assumption on the guy, and it was very unfair of me to do. But it also has taught me that in the future, just because someone acts like a certain way in a front porch interview does not mean that they are guilty. And like I said, I think the reason we're like that is because we had so much information released with the Chris Watts case, and you had people, doing the behavioral studies and this and that, and the behavioral specialists from the FBI saying, well, he acted like this, which gave it away the duper's delight, which we all, said that Shane had duper's delight. And, now people just say that was his normal activity. The main thing is, I think, is when you're going to do an investigation, you really need to get a baseline on somebody, and I say this, me being wrong too. We seen that guy, Shane, for the very first time in our lives that day he done that interview. And we assumed that the way he was acting, showed guilt in our eyes, some of our eyes. I'm not going to say everyone, but some of them. Now, with that being said, we didn't know how this guy acted every other day of his life. So I think it's very important, in my opinion, that when, something like this happens, you have to get a baseline on how a person acts every day, and not just the one day that you see him on a interview on the street because his girlfriend, fiance has gone missing. And the one interview where he was laughing and things like that, he was telling him, he's like, I'm not comfortable here. The light's in my eyes. Can we do this another way? And they showed us that video, and like I said, we had never seen the guy before in our lives, so we don't know. Some people said he was high and he was having the giggles. I don't know that, but that's what some people said. Some people said he just acted that way in normal life. Some people say he got nervous. It could have been all three. It could have been one of the three. But it's a lesson learned for everybody that just because someone acts a certain way in an interview does not mean they're guilty. Still, he must be hard doing an interview, knowing lots of people thinking it's you. And, even the one person said, I actually think Shane might have been smoking weed. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, and another thing is, you got to think of like this. And I don't know this. This is just speculation. And I'm telling you, it's speculation. If he is a weed smoker, and you would think if someone has, and a lot of people use marijuana for anxiety and panic. Now, I know with me, it done the opposite to me. It made me a nervous wreck, and I was paranoid as hell. But some people, it has the opposite effect on, and it calms them down. So, with that said, if it would have to be one of the hardest days of your life to find out your fiance or your girlfriend, the mother of your children, regardless of what her title to him was, had went missing. And if you do use a substance to get you through something, for instance, marijuana, chances are you're going to use it at that time because you're needing it at that time, especially. So, Yeah, statistically, he was the prime suspect, but we all do make mistakes. We do. We all make mistakes. Um, and like I said, I was guilty as hell too, because I sat right there and said, when he started doing that laughing, I was pretty convinced he was in on it. And if he watches this, which I doubt he will, I apologize for making that assumption. I really do. Megan brought Heidi coffee that was filled with opiates. Yep, that's what I heard too. Now I don't know if that was true or not, but I did hear that from a pretty good source. I worked in a drug and alcohol abuse. In my opinion, he had been smoking weed, but nothing wrong with weed, in my opinion. It's the hard drugs you need to keep away from. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's right, and this is just my opinion. And like I said earlier, I'm not a pot smoker. It always had the opposite effect on me and made me real paranoid and anxious. But I've never been a believer in outlawing making something illegal that you can go to jail for and be criminally charged with, something that grows from the earth. That just does not make sense to me. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's just like coffee. How many of us drink coffee in the mornings as a stimulant to get up out of bed? And it grows just like marijuana does from the earth. So, yeah, and that is not confirmed yet by the police. I would be gutted if my girls took weed. No, in my house. Yeah, and I mean, each person has their own. Like, I would never tell you, Stephanie, that that's a wrong way to look at it. Don't get me wrong. I would never, ever say that. You have the right to do in your house what you want to do in your house. I'm just saying, my opinion on it. And I hope you understand that. Yeah, and I mean, look, I'm drinking L8. It's got loads of caffeine in it. They say L8 has as much caffeine or more than Mountain Dew. So, yeah, and there was no mention of the coffee in the affidavit. That is a good point, Secret Lady. Yeah, Kimberly, it done the same thing to me. It felt like my heart was going to blow out of my chest when I smoked it as a younger man. Yeah, that's a good point. Opiate is a plant too. I think there's a lot of things when used correctly are not bad for you. I'm not saying they're good for you, but my daughter smokes it to deal with stress. She can struggle on social situations and come across awkwardly. Everyone is different, though. Yeah, that's very true. And Danette has a good point. She thinks she just trusted her best friend. And I mean, who wouldn't trust their best friend, especially one that had been in the delivery room with you? That is what blows my mind, is the fact that this girl, and I'm saying supposedly because I don't believe if you were a true friend you could have ever done this, but supposedly a best friend that could be in the delivery room, basically celebrating the birth of your baby with you, and then you were able to do this to her, to even make this plan. At some point, there has to be something wrong here, in my opinion, mental health wise. And the reason I say that is because just thinking about it, you would think that somewhere along the lines she would say, "No, this is just crazy thinking. I can't do this. This is my best friend. How could I do this to my best friend? I can't. There's no way." And that's just another thing that crosses my mind about it. I just don't see how a supposed, and I say supposed. Now Heidi probably was a best friend to her, in all honesty, but this other girl, Megan, was definitely not a best friend to Heidi. It wasn't a two-way street like it should have been. And it just is sickening to me knowing that Megan was in the delivery room, and right then when the baby was born that she had the intentions of taking the baby. Now, I don't know if she had the intentions the whole time of murdering Heidi. I'm assuming she did, because how else would she be able to take the baby and not get rid of the mother, obviously? Um, yeah, I think so too. I think Megan was envious of Heidi, and it's obvious. I believe that too. Um, that's just, I don't know. It just it's so sad and on so many levels that this even had to happen. It didn't have to happen, um, but the fact that it did, just makes it that much more. It's not normal to me, and I don't think it's normal to probably most of a rational group of people would be. So, and we all have the right to our opinions. We do. Hello, Flynn. How are you? They cannot extract 100% of THC from the CBD. There is always a trace left. You need to know this because if you take way more than specified dose, you do experience a high. Very important to know. And Pamela says, tell your kids this information, please. Even jealous couldn't cause someone to kill. Not the normal person, you wouldn't think, in my opinion. So it's hard to say to me. And, everybody's affected differently by every substance they put in their body. What I might take and put me to sleep might make you go and do 10 hours worth of work. So it's hard to say. People are affected differently. Hello, Don. How are you tonight? Yeah, Chris was breaking up with Megan when she came up with a pregnancy plan. So this was planned. Well, Don, you know my saying, better late than never. Oh, yeah, it was totally premeditated. Now, one thing I did think of, and it was just a question I had in my own head, was when, the Amazon wish list that Megan and Chris had made up for the baby, they was, I heard, mainly selecting boys stuff. So I'm wondering, did she have someone else in mind if what she had planned for Heidi didn't work out? Or was Heidi the backup plan? Did she have somebody else in mind and didn't go through with that? And Heidi was actually her second choice. I have thought about that, several times, that could be the case. But I don't know. That's just, something that I've thought about. No, thank you, Sid. Nice to be back. AZ Deb, I have heard the reason they haven't charged her with murder yet is because they want to be 100% sure of where the murder took place. So they want to file the murder charges in the correct jurisdiction. That's what I have heard. I think she realized boys' clothes wouldn't do when Daddy was going to be likely changing diapers. Yeah, true. Braun, do you think Megan was high when she did this? Just my opinion, yes. That's just my opinion. I don't think somebody that wasn't high could do this, but then again, that's just my opinion. I wonder if they did a drug screen on Megan when they took her into custody. I'm sure they probably had a warrant to draw her blood. Hello, Penny. Thank you. Glad to be back. Cal says, I think she said boy just to pull on Chris' heartstrings. Having a boy is a big deal for some men. Then, oops, it's a girl, and she just appeared laying on the bed. Don't get mad. Yeah, and apparently when they did the, yeah, Flynn, it is. Apparently, they was talking to, the boyfriend, Chris Green, and when they showed him a picture of Heidi's baby, and he says, I believe that's the baby that's at my house right now. No, that's okay, Indiana. Yeah, he told on her. And I tell you, if she was, I don't know what her addiction was. I've heard it was methamphetamine, and I also heard it was heroin. Now, I don't know which one it is, obviously, but if she was a regular drug user, going to jail would be pretty rough on her. Which, and I mean, she deserves that. Don't get me wrong. She deserves every bit of it because, she's the one that made this whole situation happen. We wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this had she not come up with this plan that was just disgusting. Hello, Shell Shocked. How are you tonight? Can't get my throat cleared. Was there two people in the car when Heidi got in the car? An eyewitness is saying that Heidi and Megan both got in the passenger side, which would sound like there would be a third person who would be the driver. Now, that's just what I've read from the affidavit part. Of course, people can do this and worse without being high. Yeah, true. I don't know, just the way she looked going in the her mugshot to me, and this is not really fair that I say this, but to me, she looked high. But sometimes people are tired, or they could be drinking anything. It doesn't mean they're high. Ron, are you the only one who can access your email now? I'm sending you an email about a case, but also has some other info. Yeah, I've changed it. I have two-step authentication. Angie, we're talking about Heidi Bouchard right now. We was also talking about the Dulos being arrested earlier today. You're welcome. Just for you. Thank you. Kayla says, just to set the record straight, a sociopath is not a mental illness. It is a personality. I'm sorry to hear that, Sue. That's not good. Always set up the two-step authentication when you're signing into your email. Then it will send you a text to your phone right then. No, Jan, I don't have that many. Lord, no. The smell of cigs makes me ill now. Yeah, I understand that, Kayla. That is a good point. That it's a personality. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I think they said in the affidavit that a eyewitness saw Heidi and Megan both get in the passenger side of the car. Which, if she could have got in there and then got back out, but to me that sounds like there was a third person and a third person driving. To me, I could be wrong. That's just what it sounds like to me. Yeah, correct. They didn't specify for sure that there was a third person involved. It's just what an eyewitness is saying. Megan, front passenger, Heidi, back passenger who was driving. Yeah. And I'm assuming that Megan would have also had a car seat to put the baby in because Heidi left hers in her car. I'm assuming. And if you were saying you were pregnant, it wouldn't be, it'd be a big difference if a woman that was not supposed to be pregnant had a car. Why do you have a car seat for? Well, I'm expecting a baby. I've already got a car seat. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for someone that's also expecting a baby to have a car seat also. Okay, Carrie. Good night. I'm good, Miss Analyzer. How are you? I don't know about that. Hot Scorpio. Witness said that the time when they got in to take off was not enough time to strap a baby in a car seat. Makes me think second person is driving. Yeah, it could be. Very true. We can do that anytime, Miss Analyzer. a lot of times we just come in and then we'll be talking about one thing and go to the other. Now, I did say I was only going to do an hour tonight because I'm working my second job tonight. So I'm got to go out and make some runs. Yeah, that's a good point, Hot Scorpio. You got a 50% chance of getting right or wrong. Never thought of it that way. Shane told Tim from EquiSearch that Heidi told him that Megan had a baby named Luna on December 8th. Okay. Yeah, I had heard the December 8th thing too, the name Luna. Yeah, there's a lot of questions coming out with that we in the public are hearing and discussing, and I think that it'd probably I think the police are just being tight-lipped on this case is what I think. Okay, Aussie, have a good night. Take care. Penny, not sure. With everything that's happened here recently, I'm trying to come up with a plan. Well, anyway, guys, I've been on for an hour and 2 minutes. I hate to run, but I'm going to. I'll be back on to, as far as I know, tomorrow night. I will be giving up the Uber Eats job soon, so hopefully I'll have more time to do my YouTube. Thank you guys for spending some of your evening with me. I really appreciate it. It gives me, it helps me too. I know a lot of you guys say it helps you, and it really helps me because I do suffer with anxiety and panic. And just having you guys' support does mean a lot to me. It really does. And so I thank you guys for that. And I hope all you guys have a good night. And as far as I know, I will see you tomorrow night. If for any reason I'm not going to be coming on, I will post that on my Facebook True Crime Files page. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. And if there's a specific case you guys would like to go over that I haven't talked about, or I know somebody said they was going to email me about a case, we can always, discuss things about looking at different cases and stuff. But good night, guys. And thank you guys. Good night. Thank you, Sarah, by the way. Good night. Thank you.